My name is Susan Njemanze, and I've been a member of St. John's Lutheran Church for about the last 35 years. So I was born and grew up in Kenya, Africa, and I immigrated to the United States when I was sponsored by an American family. That was shortly after my father died during my last year of high school. I'm involved with a ministry called Graceworks. The year 2000, I had visited Kenya to go see my family, and while I was there, I learned firsthand how the pandemic had kind of devastated my rural community, leaving many children orphaned. Many of them were living with grandparents or with other relatives who could barely afford to feed them, let alone provide them with an education. The plight of these children in my own village really touched my heart, and I felt like I needed to do something to help. So in 2004, I went back to Kenya and helped launch Graceworks, a program to help the orphan children in my village. I named the organization Graceworks in honor of my mother, who was herself a widow and was already doing a lot to help the orphans and widows in the village. So how can you help? You have to understand the children we work with mostly are the kind of the throwaway children. These are the children who have nobody. Most of them have lost their parents and are living with grandparents or other relatives, and who can, barely afford to give them the basics. Unfortunately, in Kenya, there aren't government systems that come alongside these children to take care of them. It usually falls on the kinship, on the family. While the kinship system used to work traditionally, it was kind of overwhelmed by its crisis because so many people died. Graceworks helps orphans and vulnerable children in Rueka receive an education, and the children also receive assistance with food, clothing, medical care, and above all, spiritual and emotional support, which is very critical. We have a staff of social workers who go out and make sure that these children are being taken care of. Also, because the children are in the community, we also have a community liaison who goes around and just kind of work with the guardians mostly, just to kind of help them with whatever issues come up. The joy that they exude in spite of all their circumstances is just so wonderful. And watching the children kind of evolve from being hopeless to being hopeful and joyful is just amazing. If you ask me how you can help, I would say sponsor a child. One person made a difference in my life by sponsoring me a long time ago. You can do the same for a child and change the trajectory of their life.
Graceworks and St. John's have been in partnership for over 15 years as God has worked through Graceworks and our members to bring hope and support to these children. Whether it is sponsoring a child, financially supporting, going on a mission trip, packing food, I would encourage you to be a part of this ministry and visit our website for more information on how God is calling you to the very ends of the earth to speak the gospel and live it out in love.